All right, welcome back to Broncos Country Tonight, joined by Hall of Famer Steve Atwater. Steve, how you doing, man?
Hey, doing all right, Ryan. Hey, we just trying to weather the storm over here. Literally, today we got a little bit of snow out there, but still dealing with the pandemic, of course, hoping everybody's staying safe. We're trying to be smart, but yeah, I'll be glad when we can get back out and we get a chance to see each other again in person.
Absolutely. Lunch is on me next time we see each other.
What? Oh, yeah.
I know. Even though you still owe me for the Kyler Murray thing. But speaking of the draft, let's talk about, I haven't forgotten. Speaking about the draft, defensive backs, I'd love to know from you as a former DB, which impresses you more, the class of safeties or cornerbacks coming out this year?
You know what? I would have to say the cornerbacks. You have more top-rated corners than you do safeties. Although we do got a nice class of safeties, but man, with the corners, Jeff Okudah, C.J. Anderson, Jeff Gladney, Christian Fulton, Trayvon Diggs, all those guys, man. You know, it's a big list of guys. And the safeties, they have a nice list of guys too. My nephew Jeremy Chin, one of those guys. But I think that group isn't as deep as the cornerback group is.
All right, so Ben, we had this conversation on Broncos Country Tonight. If you could only have one coming out of the first 2 days of the draft, a cornerback or a safety, tell me why you would take one or the other.
Well, as I said on the show, I don't think you have to choose. I think you can get the best of both worlds if you're trying to do that and get a guy like Terrell Burgess that can play safety or corner and put him in there. But if I had to come away, if you had to pin me down on one, I would suggest that you probably need a corner more than you need a safety at this point, despite the fact that you don't have a lot of depth behind K-Jack and Justin Simmons, and Kareem is, just had another birthday. So I think you can't have enough corners in the NFL, and I think if you just got to pick one or the other, you got to make sure you come away with a corner before day 3 hits.
You agree with that, Steve?
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, and I'm expecting us to get a corner either through free agency or through the draft. I know it's hasn't happened yet in free agency. Another corner. I was thinking that Prince Amukamara would probably make a run at him, but it's maybe still not be too late for that. But if not, then we definitely got to add one in the draft.
No, I'm completely with you. Let's talk a little bit about how different this draft ultimately is. Steve, I'll come to you first on this because it's so wild that we're going to be basing a lot of decisions in the draft on mostly the film because we haven't had a lot of pro days and most of the meetings are all taking place via Zoom, kind of like we're doing right now. How much do you think that's going to affect this draft?
Well, I mean, the good thing about it is people are going to be objective, right? They're going to look at what guys can do on the film, how they play, what kind of speed they have on the field. But the negative side of it is, football, just like life, is more than what it is on the field. It's also what type of person they are, what kind of energy are they going to bring to the locker room, what kind of leadership are they going to bring to the locker room. Are they going to add to the positivity of the locker room, or are they going to bring a lot of negativity there? And that's the thing you can't tell from film. And that's something that's extremely important in building a winning organization, is making sure that you got guys who are more positive and that are building up the organization.
Now, I can kind of hear that, Ben, but on the other side, we've seen examples, Tim Tebow, of situations where a player wows in the interview room and you maybe ignore the film a little bit. Maybe this is a good thing.
Well, no, you want the complete package, okay? Tim Tebow is the example of letting the meeting room and letting the meeting dictate it without the proper tape. We can go the other direction, and you can let the tape or the projection off of the tape and not really knowing somebody talk you into trading up for a Paxton Lynch. So at the end of the day, you got to make sure you've got the complete picture of what the guy is on the field, what you think he can become, and who he is as a person. Is he driven? Does he want to improve his game, or is he just using the NFL to fund his other interests?
Ben, do you think this is going to change things long-term for the league as far as how it preps for a draft?
I don't think so. I think you're going to see some hits and you're going to see some misses in this draft, just like you do any other draft. Drafting is an art, not a science. If there was an exact formula to have, we would already have it down and everybody would use it. But, you use your eyes the best you can. You try to judge a guy the best you can, and you hope you come away with a stud player who fits in your locker room.
All right, Steve, I can't get a we'll see answer on this. I need a gut feeling. It's a gut check time. We're less than a week out. What are the Broncos going to do at the 15th overall pick?
Jerry Jeudy or Henry Ruggs is there, we're going to take a receiver. If not, we're going to take a corner. You heard it here first.
Okay, I like that. Not an offensive tackle, though, because there are a lot of people pounding the table for offensive tackle there. If one of the top four, or even if one of the top four aren't there, there are people saying that the Broncos need to be thinking about this into next year because they might have changes at offensive tackle.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are saying that, and I just don't share those same sentiments. I just don't feel that way. Again, I think we're okay there with Garrett Bowles, and I know that's the person or the player that everyone's kind of questioning there. So I don't feel that same way. So I'm definitely going either receiver or corner.
Now, Ben, you've been on receiver the entire time, so I really don't need to ask you this. But let's just say your favorite receiver, Henry Ruggs, is not there. The top three are not there. What are you doing?
Well, we would have already traded up to acquire him. We wouldn't have messed up on this one in the first place. But let's say Henry Ruggs is not there. Are you saying Ruggs, Judy, and Lamb are all not there?
Yep.
I agree with Steve. Corner. Look to see what you feel like a corner. Look to see what your trade back options are at that point. If you could trade back from 15, if your guy isn't there, move and multiply your first round picks and come away with maybe a Cesar Ruiz and a corner out of the first round, take the 20s and 30s. That's a heck of a haul. And while I would be disappointed that we got the rugs pulled out from under us, I would still be okay with that. I would still be okay with that draft.